Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this afternoon news report right here on the Riley King Network. Take a look at this photo right here. George Floyd protest live updates. Protesters stop looters. Mayor looks to honor them. The National Guard has been activated in Washington, D.C. and 23 states. The death of George Floyd, a black man who died on Memorial Day after he was pinned down by a white Minnesota police officer, has sparked outrage and protest in Minneapolis and across the United States. The National Guard has been activated for civil unrest response in Washington, D.C. and 23 states. Arizona, Alaska, California, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, Minnesota, North Carolina, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, Washington, and Wisconsin. In wake of Floyd's death, murder and manslaughter charges have been filed against Derek, the officer who prosecutors said held his knee on Floyd's neck for nearly 9 minutes. Derek and the other 3 officers at the scene have been fired. The Department of Justice is investigating. NYC Mayor addresses his daughter's arrest for protesting. 481 arrests in Twin Cities over the weekend. And Derek moved to state prison. 11:12 a.m. update. NYC mayor addresses his daughter's arrest for protesting. More than 250 people were arrested during protests overnight Sunday in New York City, which included significant looting, vandalism, and theft of luxury stores in Soho in the early morning hours of Monday. Take a look at this photo. Looting is rare for New York City, and the mayor, Bill de Blasio, on Monday condemned the behavior as unacceptable. The NYPD believes the destruction of property, particularly at high-end retail stores, is part of a pro-convinced plan by gators who have co-opted the demonstration related to Floyd's death. These gators come prepared to commit property damage, Miller said. The directed followers to do so selectively, only in wealthier areas and at high-end stores. More than 1,000 people have been arrested since the protests began in New York City on Thursday. Of those arrested, about 1 in 7 is from outside of the city, the NYPD said. Arrested protesters have come from at least 10 states: Massachusetts, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Iowa, New Jersey, Nevada, Virginia, Maryland, Texas, and Minnesota. Among the 345 arrested Saturday night was de Blasio's 25-year-old daughter. She was arrested for unlawful assembly and given a desk appearance ticket, according to the NYPD sources. I love my daughter deeply, the mayor said on Monday. I'm proud of her that she cares so much. she was acting peacefully. She believes that everything she did was in the spirit of peaceful, respectful protest, de Blasio said. I will let her speak for herself, but I admire that she was out there trying to change something that she thought was injustice. The NYPD overall showed resistance as they worked to keep the peace and allow demonstrators to continue to protest on Sunday, the mayor said. But de Blasio did condemn what he called the rare act of officers acting inappropriately, bringing up the trouble video of two police cars moving through a crowd in Brooklyn Saturday night. The video showed one police SUV being blocked by a group of protesters behind a barricade as various items of objects can be seen striking the vehicle. Another NYPD SUV then pulled up alongside the first vehicle before both of them can be seen accelerating into the crowd of people, knocking many of them over as the screaming and yelling from the crowd began to intensify. Not acceptable, the mayor said, stressing that there's no situation where a police vehicle should drive into a crowd of protesters or New Yorkers. The incident is under investigation. De Blasio also called for the officer who pulled a gun on a group of protesters to be fired. Any officer who does the wrong thing, there needs to be consequences, and they need to be fast, the mayor said. And that does it for this afternoon news report right here on the Riley King Network. Have a great rest of your afternoon. See you back here later on today for another news report. Goodbye, everyone.